apprentices, new journeymen, and your retiree too. What this is, and the retirees will probably know this already, but this is about the advantage of being in a union. What good it is for you to be a member of the union. And we'll start off where you would start off, with the apprenticeship program. As we've learned here, if you decided to continue your education, your apprenticeship time, once you have completed it, would work towards credited hours for that degree. So this is something that some of you guys might want to do later. It pays off. It's not for everybody, but it's something that'll work. We do pretty good as a starting thing. As you start off, your first 6 months, you're getting 40%. Your second, and keep in mind, this is passing tests with each of these moves here. I mean, you just don't last that long to get this. You have to pass tests. But the second 6 months, we go to 45. Second year, first 650, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, and 85%. Now, this fifth year, this was something that was done recently by the past administration. I'm not trying to be political here, but it was done, in my opinion, as a sellout. There are no plans at this present time to have any program for this fifth year, so it's basically a way for the contractor to get cheaper labor for that fifth year. The apprentice coordinator is working on a format to come up with something now, but right now all of this is on-the-job training for that fifth year, so it really was a bad deal. As apprentices, your reputation is everything. We talked earlier together about first impressions. Your first impression with your fellow apprentices means a lot. If you're sitting there with your feet on the table, if you're sleeping, if you come in with, raggy clothes and shit, it means something. It means something. I mean, we're sheet metal workers. We're not office people, but, you don't have to wear the shittiest clothes you have to work. You can do good. Work ethics. Show up on time, you're ready to work. Don't come in hungover. The impression you're going to make on your co-workers and your co-apprentices, because your co-apprentices one day are going to be your foreman, your superintendents, and you may be foremen and superintendents and owners of companies. But your impressions there are going to last your lifetime. Once you get a shitty reputation, it's hard to shake. You're going to need somebody down the road, you're a superintendent, you say, I remember Stan was a hard worker, I'll put in the work. If it goes the other way, I'm going to have a hard time finding work. And that's what all this is about. As apprentices, again, you made good pay, but our wage was not based on 12 months of work. We get a good wage, a good dollar, because with weather and things, we miss work. Save for a rainy day. It's important. People love to live beyond their means. We're going through an economic problem right now that is showing it. When I went through my apprenticeship, you look in a parking lot at a trade school and you saw beaters. Go out there today, everybody's got new trucks. Live within your means, guys. Get something, save it, because then, you're guaranteed a certain amount of time as an apprentice to work. But when you get your car, there can be some rough times. You don't want to overextend yourself. Apprentices and journeymen, you guys, the new journeymen, union dues. Some guys bitch about that. They don't like paying union dues, but let me tell you, union dues are like the entry to Disneyland. If you want enjoyment and value, you have to pay the price of admission. Without union representation, you as a non-union sheet metal worker would be making between $10 and $20 per hour. Get crappy health care, if any at all, and no pension. So when you ask what I'm paying for, the answer is the price of admission to a terrific financial opportunity. When you're done with your apprenticeship, I really wouldn't recommend it now because you have too much on your plates, but when you're done with it, we offer some night classes. And the young journeyman, the old journeyman, whatever. I mean, it never hurts to increase your education. The current night class we're offering now is GMAW, which is MIG welding. It's a 10-week course, 2 nights a week, 3-hour sessions. What you're going to learn is basic terminology and theory, identification and operation of power sources and equipment, safety and welding, hand-on welding of typical joints designed and positioned, welding of carbon steels using short-circuit transfers. This is a basic program. There are no prerequisites for this. But again, it's something. It's a tool that you'll need. The more tools you have in your toolbox, the better opportunity you have for employment. You're going to see that as your career goes on. Okay. Future classes will also be offered, but we right now, because of the economy, we're only running one class at a time. Here's some of the classes that will be offered in the future. You're going through some of this now as apprentices, but it never hurts to sharpen up your skills. CAD, service work, and OSHA classes. Again, all of these tools are tools for your toolbox. The more tools you have, the better opportunity you have for work. In Local 73, we offer 2 voluntary programs. Death benefit. What the death benefit program is you sign up for this. When a member passes away, if he's a member of this, because it is a voluntary program, they increase your dues by $1 per death. That money goes to the widow, the family, to help with the cost of the funeral or whatever. Now, it is voluntary. In 1971, well, when I started, it was voluntary. Guy came up and said, "You're in," and you can get away with that then. It should be that way today, but we can't. I mean, there's too much legal bullshit now. It's a good thing. It's not going to break you. And if everybody's in it, the payout's good. The PAC, Political Action Committee. This is Chicago. Where else do you have the politics that Chicago is? It's very important to keep these political ties. There's PLAs. PLAs are project labor agreement, for those of you who don't know what it is. What that means is that job, they sign on to that PLA, that job's going to be done 100% union. We have a good chance of obtaining the Olympics this October. The decision will be made. That project was already signed as a PLA. That's huge. That is huge. We figure we'll be about 2,000 sheet metal workers shy of what we'll need if we get that contract. And it doesn't hurt that the president-elect is from Illinois. That probably helps us in running. There's four places left, and we're one of them. We're the only one in the United States. So we're probably going to be bringing in travelers. And the main thing as an organizer, my job just got real is they're going to knock on our door, because if they have to be union and they want a piece of the pie, they're going to pay us. They're going to come to us, which is a nice way to have it. Attend union meetings. Guys, this is important. Don't cost you to go there, and the benefits, you're contacting fellow members. This goes back, we don't have a hiring law. The more people you know, the better chance you have to work. It ties in, it all ties in, it's just a circle. I can go over and over with it. You go to a meeting, you're getting first-hand information. If I told Milo a story, by the time it got to Kevin, it would change. You need to know for yourself what's being said and make those decisions so that you're not hearing this second-hand shit. And we're so political in this local, we turn officers over like some people change their shoulds. It's not a pretty thing. Get to know your officers. You pay them. You might as well know who they are. Frank, this is nothing against Tony. When Tony ran for office, I know people specifically that told me they thought they were voting for his father, because his father was an agent. His father, God bless his soul, passed away. But it's pretty sad that people are voting for someone and they don't even know who they're voting for. When I was elected or appointed organizer, for 2 months I had a guy coming up to me calling me, what the hell, some Dale or something. I go, Dale? You don't even have a Dale. What are you talking about? You're Dale. I says, all right, whatever, you're nuts. And at these meetings, You can walk up to the officers, you introduce yourself. Don't be afraid to keep going up to them and saying, hey, I'm Stan. Out of sight, out of mind. If a job does come through the union hall and they know you, you have a better chance of them calling you than somebody they don't know. It's just, it's common sense, guys.
And they could call it Jimmy Haggerty, right?
Jimmy Haggerty? He's gone.
Tommy.
My favorite. Elections, which as I stated earlier, in our local here, we go through them. It's never an easy one, because there's always somebody that wants what we have, and that's good. It keeps you on your toes. It's a good thing. It's nothing to be afraid of, but it's a costly, uncomfortable time. I had a dear friend who just retired from the International, Jim Rock, who was an officer at Local 73 before he got his appointment with the International. He used to get shingles during every election. And he was a popular, well-liked guy. He won probably 9 out of 10 of his elections. He lost for a while, and ended up working with me, and that's how I beat him. That was part of my start in this whole business between him and Lee. But the nervousness, he would just, he'd get rattled. You find out by seeing these officers and talking to these officers that any one of you could be an officer. I already talked the other day about a guy being the shittiest PA in the world, but because he answered his phone calls, showed up on the jobs, they loved him, kept getting elected. Look around his room. You guys are all officers. Some of us through birth. Some of us had to give birth to it. That was me. Be persistent at these elections. Well, no, that was digging me too, because I had to do the screw to get this job. If you get involved in an election and you pick the wrong side, it's not going to be the end of the world for you. Because we're so volatile with moving officers around, the name recognition, the reputation you get at that point will help you in the future, because most of our officers now had run 2 or 3 times, they finally got in. It's again, out of sight, out of mind. If you're there all the time, you keep popping up, you guys finally want to see what you're doing. Okay. Oh, okay, I don't have a check for this here. Connected activities with the unions. We do a Dad's Day. When it first started, what we did was go out and collect money on the street corners. This is Dollars Against Diabetes. It's a very good program. It's a nice charity. Everybody knows somebody with diabetes. It's a feel-good thing to do. It's changed from the street corners to now they run a softball tournament versus the other trades. And there's donations made. We still earn quite a bit of money, and I believe they built a wing in some hospital in Miami for research of diabetes through these efforts of our local and other locals throughout. We have a retirees club. They meet monthly, they play bingo, they have entertainment, with coffees and rolls for them. They have a Christmas party, a nice luncheon for them. They get to bring their wives, they go out on trips. Because of the numbers, they can cut down on the cost of these trips. They've been to Switzerland, they've been to Wisconsin, nice trips. We have a veterans committee. This committee meets every other month at the Union Hall, and with the generous donations and contributions from our members, and if you go to the Union meeting, you'll see we have a 50-50 raffle. 50% goes to the winner, it's a drawing, 50% goes to the Veterans Club. Vendors and other supporters. We've sent care packages to our soldiers. We have some members of our local that are overseas now. And it's another good feel-good thing here. It's very important. We've contributed to the Stars and Stripes Society, the Yellow Ribbon Support Group, and the Heinz Veteran Hospital. The Heinz Veteran Hospital, you talk about feel-good. You go there and give these guys some money and stuff in packages. They're not there because they want to be there. They're there because they have to be there. They're crippled, they're shot up, their legs missing. To get something to show a little gratitude for what they've done for us it just feels really good. We have parades. We have the St. Patrick's Day parade coming up. Next Saturday, actually. Next Saturday is the downtown parade, and now we go to the South Side parade. The South Side parade is a little more hedonism. but they're fun events. Bring your family, kids ride on a float. It's a great day. It's a great day. We'll stop afterwards, have some refreshments. You can get the details at the meeting and where we do it. Have you ever seen the movie Fugitive? Well, watch it close next time. I'm in it. From the St. Patrick's Day Parade. They were actually filming the regular parade when that happened. Harrison Ford walks in front of me. I didn't know who he was. Some little guy in the cameras, we thinking, you know, it's TV, because they show it on local TV, you know, the parade. At the end of the parade, the guy comes and says, hey, you're going to sign this release. What are you talking about? You're going to be in a movie. I said, I'm going to be in a movie. How much am I going to get paid for this movie? Well, we're filming it with 4 other groups, so you don't sign, you're out. My ego kicked in, and there it was. I'm pushing for a or a Kashmir Pulaski Day parade, but with our Irish leaders, I'm not getting too far. In closing, this is what it's all about, guys, involvement. If you're not involved, you get what you put in. If you don't get involved, you get shit. This is it, guys. Union. You and I, we're together in this. It's our livelihood. It's not a job. It's our career. It's our life. We're going to make a good living with this. You're going to be able to send your kids to school. You're going to have the nice cars. Get involved. Hope to see you all at the next meeting, first Friday of every month. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dale.